pressure here. If you were from Scarborough, no, you're perfect. High five. That's why was that the daintiest high five? Yeah. Mwah. You know, I know it's all about the process this season, but I'm just gonna focus on the win. Yeah, oh, sure. And we're just gonna not focus on the fact that they were a groin tweak away from having a guy in net who has exams this week. Well, yeah, but E-Bugs have a pretty good record in this building, right? Too soon. Too soon? It'll always be too soon. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little ridiculous. Good boy. Play all the hits. Left Toronto Maple Leafs. Let me finish. How am I supposed to go to bed after watching that? I'm quite hyped. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Leafs win 3-1 over the Ottawa Senators. Listen, if we're going to be focused on the process all season long, game number 3 is not going to be a work of art. It just needs to be better than game number 2. And it certainly was. So let's talk about it. But perhaps first, I'll talk about Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. That's me. It was on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Just like we did during the playoffs, we streamed me watching a Leafs game. And if you're somewhere where you can't access the game, guess what? I'm watching the game. If you don't even like me, if your uncle doesn't like me and he can't watch the game, tell him to throw me on mute and he can watch the game wherever he is. On his phone, on his tablet, on his... What else do uncles watch games on? He's got a lawnmower with a DVD player. Listen, doesn't matter. Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. We had a lot of fun. Now, the last time we did Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle was Game 7. So I was sincerely hoping this would go a little bit better. And heading into this game, there was reason to worry. Let me try to explain what the heck happened, what the heck is going on, as best as I understand it. The Leafs had 2 situations. Number 1, Peter Mrazek is hurt. He cannot play. So, you just call up Michael Hutchinson. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Usually shouldn't be a problem. But Justin Hall was feeling sick, so he could not play. Well, that one's easy. The Leafs are carrying an extra guy, Timothy Liljegren. Just throw him into the lineup in place of Justin Hall. Perfect. Well, yeah, but they have to call up Michael Hutchinson to replace Peter Mrazek, and they're not going to be able to do that because they can't afford him on the cap. Oh! Well, do we have an extra guy? Yeah, we do. Timothy Liljegren, just send him down. Oh! So the Leafs got themselves into a pickle that usually would have been an easy pickle to get out of, but they could not because they had 1 player injured and 1 player sick. The Leafs could not give Michael Hutchinson an emergency call-up, so instead they had to sign a goalie out of the University of Toronto. They can call up Michael Hutchinson on an emergency basis later. That is not how emergencies work! Yes, 911, I've fallen down the stairs and impaled myself on a hockey stick somehow. Can you please come save me? Yes, we'll be there. Oh, thank God. First thing tomorrow morning. I answer. So, Timothy Liljegren in the lineup and Alex Bishop also in the lineup. Oh man, like what a cool experience for him though. Like what a cool story. Oh man, was he nervous? Oh, let's ask him. From Luke Fox, Alex Bishop couldn't fall asleep for his pregame nap, so he studied for Tuesday's midterm instead. Game 3 of the season, huh? Cheers! Well, let's play the game then. Hopefully Jack Campbell is good. And also not injured, ever. Oh, by the way, part of that I forgot to mention, Peter Mrazek is injured, but he's not injured enough to go on LTIR. Not injured enough. These rules, who the hell made these rules? Wait a sec, it's the Leafs assistant general manager! He wrote them! He would have known them! And a great point made by Thomas Drance, the Leafs ATO thing, like Vegas playing short late last season, is a window into how ambitious teams navigate the cap. Are you willing to make dicey calls at the bottom end of the lineup when injuries compound to maximize your talent under $81.5 million? The answer is universally yes. That is a level-headed and reasoned take, Tom. I like that, but as a Leafs fan, I'm just tired of being embarrassed! All right. Let's see how this goes. All right, early in the game, something that's actually been a strength of the Leafs in years past, but not in the first 2 games, the 4th line. They have an offensive zone faceoff very early on. Spets on the faceoff, wins it back to Amadio. Amadio gets it to the point to Dermott. Dermott works it over to Sandin. Sandin's having a look around. Sandin manages to thread the pass through Victor Mete's legs, and Wayne Simmons in front tips it between Anton Forsberg's legs. All aboard the Wayne train! Buries one. Each and every member of that 4th line and 3rd D pairing touch the puck on this goal. The Leafs have the early 1-0 lead. And if the puck misses Wayne Simmons right there, Jason Spezza is in front too. The Leafs have a much more defined net front presence this season. They're not just leaving it to guys like Bunting and Ritchie, the new guys. It's a mantra. Dare I say a strategy in a sport, for crying out loud. And real nice to solve Anton Forsberg early on account of he set a personal best of 46 saves in the previous game, because of course he did. But that was last game. Now we're on this one. Leafs up 1-0. A few minutes later, still in the first half of the first period, the Leafs did not have a perfect defensive game, but one thing they did extremely well was holding Ottawa in their own zone. They were using their offense to create defense and defense to create offense. Alexander Kerfoot not only whacks the puck off of the stick of the Senators, but there's 3 guys all bunched up, and the Leafs actually have an in-zone 3-on-2 here. There's another player off screen you can't see. Morgan Rielly to Michael Bunting along the boards. Michael Bunting gets drilled, by the way. No call. William Nylander with a nifty little flick of a backhand pass in front, and Kerfoot, who created the whole thing, buries it. What a shift from the makeshift second line. The sacrifice from Bunting getting hit, the nifty little pass from Nylander, but the start and the finish from Alex Kerfoot, the great little offensive defensive play, and the finish. After a rough first 2 games, he gets on the board as well. Everyone feeling good now. After this hot start, it's only 8 minutes in, 2-0. Bunch of guys getting their first points, first goals. Everyone should be feeling good. There's no reason to lose this game. Now the Sens brought their A game too. Jack Campbell was sharp in the first period. He was sharp all game long. But the Sens, a few of their forwards cooked a few of the Leafs defenders throughout this game. Tyler Ennis ruined Rasmus Sandin on one play. Tim Stützle really got TJ Brody on another, and there were a few more that I'm forgetting. Campbell stood tall, and the Leafs head to first intermission up 2-0. Hooray. Now, the makeshift first line. I keep calling it makeshift because Austin's not there. You all know what I'm talking about. Come on. Nick Ritchie seemed like a man who was much more determined in this game. Mitch Marner has always seemed like a man who is very determined, but a very frustrated man, and John Tavares wants to get going too. So they connect for this amazing play. Nick Ritchie, he's working hard, he's behind the net, and he gives it to Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is surveying the scene. He sees John Tavares in front. He receives it on his forehand to the backhand. Oh my God! Just like most IKEA furniture, the assembly of goals is not always that simple. Anton Forsberg robs John Tavares, and after a hot start, I can't help but get my broadcaster voice out and go, remember that one. And yes, that was a great save, and it's probably going to be in my first Hat Picks video of the season, which is coming up very soon. But what I had more of an eye on, what I thought we should remember a little bit more, is the Leafs getting over a minute of 5-on-3 power play time against the Senators in the second period. A timeout to set the whole thing up. And they can't bury. Now, I know it's a big storyline within the fan base because the power play was awful towards the end of last season, but I'm not going to hammer them just yet because the power play, despite mixed results through the first 2 games, and despite disappointing results in this game, or at least generating shots, at least generating chances. They got close on the 5-on-3, I thought. There are plenty of things to rant about. I'm not going to rant about that just yet, but it does allow the Sens to get back into the game. Just going through the highlights in real time, shortly after is when Stützle cooks Brody like bad. Inevitably, the Sens are going to get a power play, and this seems like entirely too much room for Josh Norris to work with. Yeah, that ended about as it should have. He buries it. It finally gets past Jack Campbell, and now the Sens are within 1 late in the second. Really good awareness, really good pass from Drake Batherson. What a player. And speaking of, final 10 seconds of the second period, which, by the way, was exactly where Peter Mrazek got hurt last game. Have you learned nothing? Drake Batherson is waiting at the Leafs blue line, and he receives it, and he falls down, and the puck hits his skate, and where is it going except into the back of the net? 2-2, there might be a review. And there was a review. And when they talk about hockey being a game of inches, you realize how limited the imperial system is. Hockey is a game of micromillimeters. That is so close. But it is definitely definitive enough that he was offside. He was about a finger's width offside. Offside enough. The Leafs dodge a major bullet there and head into intermission with the 2-1 lead, but maybe not feeling so great about themselves. And as for the Ottawa Senators, you got the kick-in goal last game. This one doesn't count. Call it kick-in karma. Now we get into the third period, and there were some things that happened that I want to talk about after we're done talking about the game. But about halfway through, the Leafs trying to hold off the Sens. Sens getting a little bit of offensive zone pressure, but Timothy Liljegren blocks a shot, and Bunting and Kerfoot head the other way in what is mostly a 2-on-1. And Kerfoot and Bunting, with the amazing chemistry of two guys who have played with each other for 2 games, Bunting to Kerfoot. Kerfoot knows he has to a millisecond to make that pass back to Bunting, and he does. Gets it past Zaitsev. Bunting holds it a little bit, dangles Victor Mete, shoots, scores! The Scarborough boy! The athlete of the year from Birchmount Collegiate! Michael Bunting scores. His lifelong dream. This dude has been a Leaf fan his entire life, even when he was on the Coyotes. He didn't say that out loud. I don't know if that's true, but I choose to believe it. He makes it 3-1. And it would still be a 2-1 Leaf lead if you only had Scarborough goal scorers. Told the story before, so I'll do it really quickly. Kyle Dubas, back when he was the GM of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, first of all, he found Michael Bunting, and I knew that. And the Sioux Greyhounds had a few draft prospects in the 2014 draft that I was going to in Philadelphia. I wanted to do some interviews. So Dubas hooked me up with the number of 2 players. Jared McCann, who I did an interview with, LOL, the context there is very funny, and Michael Bunting. So I wrote a little feature with Michael Bunting. It was on theleafsnation.com, and I was like, this guy is great. And then I published it. And then I got a weird message from my aunt where she seemed upset about it. I didn't understand what she was talking about, and then I find out that in AA, Michael Bunting hit my cousin so hard that he stopped playing organized hockey after that. When the Leafs signed Michael Bunting, I was like, so, hey, cousin, hey, like, are we cheering for him? Like, are we allowed? And he, like a hockey player, said, yeah, dude, it was a long time ago. I don't care. Oh, okay, good. Well, hooray! Scarborough kid, gotta love it. And now it is a multi-goal lead again. Specifically, a 2-goal lead. And unfortunately, a 2-goal lead, it would... Oh, Mitch Marner open net! Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, it would stay a 2-goal... Oh, Mitch Marner again! Okay, the clock winds down, and the Leafs win. And let's talk. Marner had some unbelievable plays in this game. He should have had at least 1 assist on a John Tavares goal, but was robbed by Anton Forsberg. He had an unbelievable breakaway. He had a great move, again, robbed by Anton Forsberg. David Kampf has a pretty open opportunity at an open net, but the new guy, smart, I don't want my first goal as a Leaf to be an empty net goal. And also, I want to get Mitch one. Gives it to Mitch, it's blocked. Later, Mitch has another attempt, it's blocked. You see it after every missed scoring opportunity. Mitch Marner is looking skyward. He's slamming his stick, he's breaking his stick, he's slamming the bench door. This guy cares. I don't think the criticism has ever been that he doesn't. But in the playoffs, he looked nervous, erratic, to the point where it actually kind of hurt the team at times. I don't think that's happening here. He doesn't look nervous to me. He looks determined. He looks pissed. He looks frustrated. And good. Good! Trudge through the muck! That's what this is about. This should be practice. If you believe you're a good team, if you believe you're a contender, I don't care about what your playoff record is. The regular season is the dojo. It's where you figure it all out beforehand. You don't just find ways to win games and get candy, empty calorie points. You score playoff-style goals. You go into playoff-style situations and you build a playoff-style resilience. If he can battle now, if he can fight now, if he can just hoist his boots out of the muck one step at a time, this kid is going to become even greater than he already is. And we're watching it happen right in front of our eyes. It's a lot of fun. In the comments down below, I'm curious to know what you thought about Timothy Liljegren. I thought he was fine, but not perfect. I mean, the defense did look kind of young tonight. Rasmus Sandin as well, but so good offensively. One guy I'd like to shout out, Travis Dermott, I thought had himself a little game. Not just the assist that he had, which was good, but the sprawling to break up a 2-on-1 with the wavy, spinny stick thing at the end. TJ Brody's been teaching us some tricks, huh, kid? I liked it a lot. Oh, and we didn't see the U of T student play. That was cool. He can have his midterm now. Questions? Do you think Michael Bunting should play for Team Canada at the Olympics? No, I think he should join Team Scarborough and Canada can ask them to join. This is your third night of LFR. How are you doing? I feel like I hired an editor. Not a question, but have you considered Evil Adam Wilde be like, I hate bricks? Whoa, Evil Adam Wilde, settle down. You guys are so weird. If every player had a Tamagotchi, whose would die first? Ooh, Nick Ritchie, Pierre Engvall, William Nylander is the dead Tamagotchi line. That is a great question. No question Morgan Riley has the best kept one, easily. Leafs started last season beating Montreal, losing to Ottawa, then beating Ottawa. Same for this year. Will it be different this time? I hate that the Leafs have damaged us so much that we even notice this stuff. And to answer your question, I sure hope so! Is bunting better than a home run? Well, we all found Charlie Montoyo's burner. Last but not least, can Mitch or JT hit water if they fell out of a boat? Asking for a friend. Speaking of boats, as the captain of the Dangle Navy, stand down! They'll figure it out. Get on them when they stink. I watched the game, I didn't think they stunk. And even if they did, Scarborough did enough for everybody. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends to join the SDPN Discord. You can find that on sdpn.ca. And some stuff's coming back this week. Scarborough!